so we're going to talk about SQQ today, that is shorting the overall NASDAQ market. I just want to review quickly for newer subscribers, just so you know what SQQQ is, all right? So let's go over the big thing. It tracks the NASDAQ 100 index, all right? So it's composed of the largest companies, your Apple, your Microsoft, NVDA, that we'll review soon. We'll go over those on the charts, but I want the key takeaways so you guys know what it is. SQQ is a triple leverage inverse ETF. So that means when the NASDAQ goes up, this is shorting it. It goes down in value. So if the NASDAQ starts selling off, SQQQ is going to go up. So today's video is really talking about, should we be trying to enter a short position because it's overextended, and I'll go over the charts on it in a little bit. But it seeks to return the exact results of the NASDAQ negative times 3. All right. The ETF follows the NASDAQ 100. But remember, SQQQ diminishes over time. So you have to be very careful with this fund. This is not something that you buy and hold. This is your time trying to time the market. And then I just wanted you to know that this SQQQ, which has lost a lot of people money over the years, has been launched in 2006. And it is very relatively risky satellite holdings. All right, so I'm using Investopedia, and I'm just showing you real quick the SQQQ fund. It has an expense ratio of 0.95%, and over time, people lose money if you hold this because overall the market goes up. So I just want you to know the disadvantages of SQQQ, all right? It's a daily targeted inverse ETF. It follows the NASDAQ 100. It's not suitable for the long-term hold. So if you're going to hold this long-term, you're going to lose your money. This is something that has to be a quick trade, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you got to get out of the position. It's triple leverage. So if NASDAQ goes up 1%, this goes down 3%. Definitely something to think about. And remember, the share prices for the SQQQ Bank are based on historical price performance, and it has derivatives, so it decays over time. The advantages is that it's very liquid. It's easy to buy and sell this fund within the same day, which is excellent. And it's saying, what is the best ETF to short the NASDAQ? The SQQQ really is really great. Look, it says SQQQ for short-term bets against the NASDAQ 100. So I just want to make sure that watching this video, you understand what I'm talking about. So now let's get into it. Let's go over QQQ, the main composition, the top 10 companies, and then we'll look at the charts of it. All right, guys, so welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to speak about QQQ. We're going to look at the SQQQ shorting the market, but I want everybody to know what is in these holdings, all right? So if you look at QQQ, you can see that the top 10 of these holdings right here make up almost 46% of the company. So we're trying to find out, should we be shorting this market while it's at all-time highs? Should we try to catch the top? We got Microsoft leading at 8.93% of the portfolio, Apple at 8.66%, Amazon, NVIDIA at 5% almost, and then AVGO and Meta. So let's take a look at where these stocks are, and let's see if we think it's going to be a good entry to start shorting. All right, so we're starting with the almighty QQQ. This is the NASDAQ, which we just reviewed. This is the 5-year chart. As you can see, we're at all-time highs. I'm just going to go on the max so you can see it. All it's done is done nothing but go up. It's had some periods of downturns, you know. Back in 2000, went from 2000 all the way to $17, down 90%. But then overall, ever since that downturn, all it's done is go up. $25 up to $437, plus a 1,600% return. So as you can see, very bullish, and we're in this bullish trend right here. But does this mean that we are eventually forming the shoulder right here, the head right here, and then eventually we get the nice pullback, and then we get the nice shoulder here, and then we make a further move down? Now, when you look at QQQ and you just look at the 1-year RSI, RSI is down here. For those of you that don't know, greater than 70 means overbought. Less than 30 means oversold. We are trading at the top of this channel here. So as you can see, we've had this nice trend channel. And now we're right at the top. Now, you can't make any predictions. We don't know what's going to happen, but we do have NVIDIA's earnings coming up soon. So that could be a potential pullback for us, or it just can keep going up. But remember, NVIDIA only makes up 5% of it. So we're trying to figure out, is this going to be the top? I'm looking at the 1 month, as you can see, on the hourly. Let's put it on the daily. So we'll look at the 1 month, you got the hourly on. And as you can see here, I can't really say there's selling from 437.4 to 437.85, but it's just bullish. Anytime the RSI is just hanging out above the 70s, 80s almost. So this is very tough to pick a top here. And if you're going to go psychological levels, if QQQ is going to maybe get to 450, let's say, that might be your best odds to start a short position. But we really got to see what's going to happen with NVIDIA earnings. Let's break it down. Let's start looking at the other 45% of stocks. Let's see where they're at. So we'll start with Apple. Apple and Microsoft make up almost 10% each. So you really want to see how those are doing overall before we start thinking, okay, let's short it. Because if you look at Apple right now, Apple is trending up and it bounced nicely off of this. So if Apple rejects at 200, that would give us a good indication to start shorting this because Apple looks like it's starting to get some gas and might go up again. Next, let's look at Microsoft because Microsoft makes up another percentage of it. If I can spell Microsoft, hold on. Here we go. So Microsoft is making brand new all-time highs. RSI, as you can see here in the blue, it's 79. 79 to 80. All-time highs again. So this is very tough to really pick the top here. We'll look at SQQ because that's the whole point of this video, but I want to look at the big guys. Look at Meta. Meta, I mean, this is all within 1 year. Meta went from 167 all the way up to 485. I mean, you're up 190% within 1 year. And now it's blasted up even more in just the last month with earnings, went from 400 up to 485. And looks still continuous if it can blow, if this 468 can rebound back to 485. And then the dreaded NVIDIA that we all wish we had shares of is up to 700 in 1 year, went from 200 to 700, 500 points up. Let's see what that gain was. 246%, which is huge. So is it time to short? I mean, look at SQQ. Look at where it's gone. It is completely destroyed at this point. I'm starting to wonder, is this thing going to reverse split and go back up to like $50 a share? Because let's just do 1 year chart on this. If you bought SQQ, you know, I had a video on this a few months ago. I bought and sold, got rid of it. It took a little bit of profit. It wasn't much. It was like a couple dollars. But, you know, I bought it around $14. So look at this. Now we're at 39, all the way down to 11. It's down 71%. Remember, it's triple leveraged, decays over time. So that means the NASDAQ, you know, went up about 23%. So this is continuously selling off. These are the levels I was drawing in the past, which don't matter now. And overall, you know, it's like, I feel like, how do I not take a position in SQQ just because QQQ is at all-time highs? So I'm going to probably take a starter position in this. Not yet, though. I want to see, because we have NVIDIA has earnings in about a week, and I want to see if it's going to continue to go up and push stocks even higher, because right now we're in bullish territories. And this is definitely risky. I mean, you got to take like a starter position, nothing crazy, because the QQQ can continue just to keep rallying. I mean, there's nothing holding it back. There's literally nothing. It's at all-time highs, and it's the highest it's ever been. So it's either going to have this amazing epic crash, or it's just going to continue going up. So it looks very bullish to me. Doesn't look good to be entering a short position on this, because even the stock like Tesla that's in it, Tesla is starting to rebound too. And if Tesla starts running, now the QQQ is going to go up even higher because it's part of the main holdings. So it's definitely a dangerous time. Even Google's all the way up. Every stock is just all-time highs, all-time highs. At least the main 46% that make up. So we definitely need to be very careful here if we're going to short. I still believe that we can get a position in SQQQ around $10. And the reason I say that is because if we look at QQQ, And like, let's say my target goal to start shorting this is going to be, I want to start a position SQQ when it's like 445. And I'm trying to just span it out enough so we can actually get a view of this. So when it's 445, the reason I said $10 is, watch this. If we're at 437 now, and we go up to 450, that's a let's just say 3% to make it easy. 3%. Right? So a 3% move. SQQQ is a triple leveraged. So think about that. Triple leverage, 3%. That means we need a 9% drawback in SQQ. So let's zoom this out a little bit. Let's click on here, give us a nice trend line. We'll just do it from 11.11. We're going to go down to $10. And look at that, 10% drawback. So that means QQQ can go up another 3%. I'm going to take my position most likely around $10 in SQQ because I'm thinking, I can put some money into it. I can get a good amount of shares and probably lose my money like the rest of the SQQ bag holders. But I got to try. I feel that the market is so overextended. All it's been doing is pumping up. We look at the RSI. RSI doesn't lie. It's at 70s. But I don't expect the pullback to be that much. I mean, look at the RSI up here. That was amazing. When it was up here at 400, pulled all the way down to about 268. But that was in 2022. We had a lot of issues going on. Now all the markets are all about it's recovering well and doing great. But RSI was high here at this level. Let's zoom in so you can see it. Right over here at 70, 384. Pulls back to an RSI of 57. I'm looking at the bottom of the screen, so if you guys were wondering. So it went from 385 to 353, and then rallies back up. So, I'm hoping we get a move from 450, top out of 450, start pulling back to like 400. I know that sounds crazy, but the market's so bullish, we need some negative catalysts here. But 450 back to 400 would be I can't see that draw. The marker's in the way. Let me draw it one more time. We'll draw it over here just to make it easy. 450 down to 400 is 11%. It's a 30% return on your money with SQQ. Now, most likely this won't work out because everybody's been trying to short this market, and I think that's why it's getting pulled up. You got the bears just covering. You have no choice. It's just getting smoked out there if you're trying to short. I mean, look at SQQ. It's so bad. All they've done is just die, lose money literally. And then over time, you lose money. So you're trying to pick tops and bottoms here, and that's where it gets really difficult. So I don't really see any catalyst yet that could cause this. And that's why I'm trying to be patient, because the S&P 500 is really, they call it like the S&P 5000 now, because look, it's at all-time highs and it's breaking past the 500. So whenever you got news articles pumping for it, it seems like it gets it there. And now I'm hoping we get some kind of healthy pullback, because you just 76 on the RSI, everything's just overextended. Even look at DIA, which is the Dow Jones. Look at the Dow Jones, same thing, overextended, all-time highs. I always buy long-term. You can see it in my accounts. I show my taxable portfolio, all that. It's all there for you to see. Check out my playlist. But it's just all-time highs. I gotta take a stab at this. I gotta see if DIA goes to maybe 400, QQQ goes to 450, and then we get that pullback. And then we can try to make some profit, and then we enter some long positions. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my playlist. Tell me what you're doing with SQQQ. Are you short in the market? Do you already have a position? Are you bag holding? Just let me know. I'm curious. I want to hear your thoughts on it. And I got my trading P&L 2024 up here. You can check that out. I got my long-term investments, investing for beginners, basically investing ideas, my Fidelity crypto and taxable portfolio, trading strategies, and my P&L for last year as well, and trades that I had in 2021. So definitely check them out. Tell me what you think about it. I always love to hear you guys' thoughts on it. And is it the time to hold the SQQQ bag and pick the top? That's what I want to hear.